I have a ton of questions for you. So, is Mandalorian as a series done? Is it now moving into the feature realm permanently?
Right now, I'm focusing on the feature because we still have another year of the story, and I think as you discover so much as you edit a film and put it together with visual effects, and so right now we're really locked in on the big screen story that's coming.
Why not?
You mentioned IMAX. Did you film with IMAX cameras, or it's just going to get an IMAX release?
We filmed digitally, but we filmed in an IMAX format that allows us to. So we on set we digitally filmed it for IMAX screen.
Sure. Do you know if it's like 20 minutes full frame IMAX? Have you figured that out yet?
Haven't yet, but we really leaned into it. We really liked it. As we did tests and looked at what looked good in IMAX, and we used a lot of different tools to do that on the set. We actually used VR to be able to view the IMAX image, so we weren't just looking on a monitor. So we found in our scouting, remember we do a lot of digital scouting ahead of time, which is part of the workflow we developed around the Mandalorian, because in the Mandalorian we're using a lot of the volume. And so that requires a lot of planning about the set. So,
what is the training doing for her?
So we use that extensive pre-vis process and set design and virtual scouting to see what it would look like in that framing. So we found that there was a lot of stuff in space looked great in IMAX, a lot of stuff looked great in sets that we were building that we made taller. So we really embraced the opportunity. And again, remember, since we're coming from television to the big screen, we really wanted to find what opportunities we didn't have available to us in the other format.
When do you think fans will see their first footage, like a teaser trailer?
I'm not sure.
Is it still far away?
I'm not sure. That's very much a larger release strategy, so I'm not involved with that.
With the edit, which I'm sure you're in the heart of right now, where are you in the edit?
We're deep into visual effects. You always discover things because there's so much animation involved with it that it's not, even when you lock on a movie like this, you want to leave opportunity to discover in the interplay with the visual effects artists, the animators, and also we bring actors back in. But we have what we shot physically there locked in, but there's a lot of flexibility about what happens with choreography of space battles, of digital characters, CG heavy set pieces. So we're really rolling up our sleeves now on that part of it. So it's a really fun process all the way through.
This is me asking you a question you probably can't answer yet. Like, do you envision this as like a 2.5 hour movie? Do you envision it as a 2 hour movie? Do you know?
I think it wants to. This is an adventure that I think wants to feel like it has. I think you want to lean into the action aesthetic and the momentum of that. So, to me, it's you want it to always feel lean and keeping the storytelling propulsive.
Right. So
that's my answer.
That's a very are you running for office next week?
Star Wars.
Yeah, but it sounds like 2 hours, like ish. That's a pulse. Yeah, I'm just guessing. I mean, I'm hoping for 3, but the other thing I'm curious about, one of the things about the TV show is, what could you do with the movie that you could never have done on the TV show?
The big difference is the amount of construction you could do, the amount of the process is so long compared to television that you can plan, look at it, discuss, use multiple stages and indoor and outdoor sets, do construction, take that construction, you could do stop motion. There's a lot of things that you have opportunities to do because of the time frame that you would never be able to do to the same extent on the small screen. Although I'm very proud, I have to say, that whenever we looked at the stuff that we made for the show, projected or an environment where we shared it with fans, it always felt
cinematic.
I felt disappointed that we couldn't share it with more people that way.
I would have loved to have seen these things on a movie screen.
And they hold up really well, which is a real testament to ILM and to the cinematographers and all the directors that I've worked with. But so it wasn't like we were that there was a lot of room. It wasn't like a delta in quality. It was more about the time frame and filling the aspect ratio, and that's where we found that. But also there's limitations because you want to invite people to a movie theater who may not have watched the show.
This is my next question. I'm so curious about this. There's obviously all these seasons of the show that exist, but there are going to be people going to this movie that have never seen it.
Right.
How do you, as a writer-director, make a movie that is for both new fans and all the people that have watched every episode?
That's honestly a big part of what we see as our as the challenge that we wanted to meet head on, because a lot of people know these characters who've never seen the show.
Yes.
So it's not just that there are people who saw the show and people who don't know who the characters are. There's a big range of people who are familiar with who they are, the archetypes, what they look like. They've seen them in fan-made stuff, social media clips. So you want to lean into that understanding, but not take for granted that they know all the lore associated with every season of the show. And so, but you also want to reward the people who've been there since the beginning. And so that's the conversation that we constantly have. That we have. I have with Dave, especially Dave Filoni. How do you embrace the characters, the archetypes, but not have it be required viewing? But if you've seen it, you see things that are in there that speak just to you, and that's a big part of Star Wars.
Are you having an opening crawl in the movie?
I can't answer it.
I'm going to keep on digging because you know what I mean.
I appreciate it.
So the other thing is, one of the things that I loved about the TV. This is my last question. So one of the things I loved about the show was the introduction of Grogu. Nobody saw it coming, and it was because you kept the merch. There was no merch allowed, and so nothing leaked. And what I'm curious about with the movie is, are you having things in it that have like such surprises that you're doing that again, where there's no merch coming, it's going to be in the movie, and then 6 months down the road.
Star Wars is very good about having different blocks of merch that are available at different times within the release.
But the merch, like...
Great to see you. Sorry, to interrupt.
But like the merch spoils so much.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm curious about.
So there's a Star Wars has been dealing with this since before I was ever there. We were with a TV show. A big thing is for each week you want to have different surprises and reveals. That's part of that genre. For film, it's different because once people see it, they see the whole thing. So you want to have the stuff available for people to. I still have memories, to be honest with you, of the first Christmas with Star Wars when there were no figures to buy. Right? I got a voucher. So how do you walk that fine line? With Grogu, we went one extreme, but we're trying to have it so that we want to be able to not spoil things for people who don't want it spoiled. And it's so hard nowadays with, like you said, if people are looking on sites, they're going to be able to find things.
The toys ruin the movie.
So when you release which toys and what you do is definitely a part of a conversation that we have all the time to make sure we hold certain things back but share certain things early so they can be on the shelves for when the film is out too. So that's the balancing act.